each time I see like club kids run now, bro, I'm like, dang, like, what kind of coach I'm gonna be for like my kid? Like, how am I gonna end up coaching my kid? And I was talking to Bimmy, I'm all like, dang, I feel like when I coach my kid, like I'm not gonna be as hard on them because I feel like I'm gonna be super passionate. So I'm gonna have to pull back. But then like maybe it's still gonna be hard because like that's my kid. So even more passion is gonna be there. But I'm just all like, I wonder how that's gonna be like the coach my because like I don't know, I get low key emotional. I'll be watching them run the 800 and like they run so good. I get like goosebumps and just all like, dang, bro, I just remember the days. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to like control myself, I guess, but
Dang.
I would be open to having someone else train my kid. Like I would love our dad to train my kid, to be honest. Like, you know, just give him over to pops, and you gotta go through what I went through. You know, I would love for them uh to experience that. But I feel like I'd be a great coach. I went to Amir's basketball game. That's our cousin, like low key nephew, you know, and like going to that game, it's hard for me not to be out there coaching, bro. Like, you know, I'm like, get to the ball. Like, why aren't y'all yelling in the audience? You know, get the rebound, get the box out, box out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they listen. If you just say little things, I'm definitely gonna be cheering, regardless of coaching or not. I'm gonna be the number one cheerer. They gonna hear
Oh,
me in the stands.
yeah, but like I feel like track and like cross country is going to be different. Like even if like from the cheering perspective, I already go crazy for cheering and cross and track, especially like cross. If it's just like a kid that I coach, or even just like it's like a friend or something, like I cheer hard, you know. So like imagine like cheering on your kid, like bro, it's about to be, I don't know,
Oh
cause
yeah,
it's about to be just like a whole different like level, like.
for
I don't,
sure.
you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So like I'm gonna have to probably like hold myself back, but I won't be able to contain myself to be honest at times.
Why
But
hold yourself back, bro? Like I'm not holding him back. Like I'm like yelling is that's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's just I ain't gonna hold that back. I ain't gonna say nothing bad. Like I'm not gonna be like you suck. I'm gonna be cheering. I'm gonna be cheering heavily. You know what I mean?
no,
So
I mean as like holding back, just all like well, originally what I meant as holding back, I'm like, if I ended up having to like coach my kid, it's like something. I feel like I don't wouldn't want to like push them like too hard, you know. Like I wouldn't want to put like too much expectation or whatever it is on. So like that's why I feel like I may not even want to like coach them because like I may go too soft because I'm all like, dang, like I don't want to do that. But then also I think I could be a good coach if they like naturally talented or whatever. But we'll
I
see. That'll
mean,
be
however
interesting.
bad you
Look
want
back.
it, if all I know is like you know, people always talk about always your kid. My kid's gonna do sports and they're gonna do track and field. They don't got a choice. Track and field is not a sport. That's a way of life. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
shoot,
That's the basics
discipline,
of like sport and life. Like you're gonna have to just go through that just to get stronger. You could
that
quit.
adversity.
Yeah, you could quit. You're gonna do club. There's gonna be a certain point in life where I'm like, all right, cool, but that's gonna be the first sport that you do, and God willing, you're gonna get trained by grandpa. He gonna be the one that get you straight. When you come to me, you better just be ready. If you come to me and you're like, Dad, I want you to train, you just, hey, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't come to me unless you ready. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. You gotta come correct. Come correct.
Yeah.
But let's get into it. I'm Joshua Potts, Mr. Pottspool, always with the brother with the same mother, Aaron Potts, Super Hot Potts. And you're watching and listening to your favorite two black runners every single Two Black Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Coming off a great weekend. I got some rest in this weekend, finally. Festival of Miles last week was crazy. I got Global Running Day. Shout out. Global Running Day is on Wednesday. Shout out to anybody participating. I'm playing a little event out here in Santa Barbara. So
Tomorrow.
yeah. This is getting recorded. Yes, it's gonna be tomorrow.
I know that.
So if you a Santa Barbara listener, make sure y'all come through Rincon Brewery. I think it's gonna be pretty dope. I'm super excited about this, bro. Like, let me tell y'all this before we get into the podcast, bro. When I first came to Santa Barbara, One of the first people I met on the run was my boy, DJ Curley, Romero Curley. Shout out to him. He's an Olympic trials qualifier, marathoner. He's 40 years old. That dude's the busy. He DJs and gets up at 6 a.m. and runs. He DJs at the club out here. And I went on a run with him, and I was like, bruh, why can't we have an event once a month where every running club in the city is coming together? We're just music. You could be you'd be the perfect person to be the DJ, yada, yada, yada. Long story short, this Wednesday, it's happening. I envisioned this so long ago, and it's happening on Global Run Day. So that's my short little ad. You know, make sure y'all come through if you're in the SB area. But if you're not, find somewhere to celebrate Global Run Day. It's a good time bringing the community together.
Man, I gotta get good running. I've been running more consistently. I've been running faster. I'm honestly thinking like, dang, I should really train for something and put like a race on the calendar. So I'm gonna think more about that, but I didn't even realize Global Running Day was tomorrow. You said Rincon Brewery and Santa Barbara
Brewery. Come through. I don't know if I have many listeners, to be honest. And in this area, we have many listeners, but hey, if you're here, come through.
You never know. But as we get into the podcast, bro, there is a lot to talk about in the track and field news. We got NCAAs coming up. One of the greatest days in track and field every single year. Well, greatest couple of days, 4 days spanning over from Wednesday to Saturday is going down. I believe Wednesday through Friday is going to be on ESPN Plus and ESPN2. Then Saturday is going to be on ESPN. NCAA Track and Field Championships, always exciting. We have huge announcements from World Athletics, kind of groundbreaking stuff as well that we're going to get into. But before we get there, like you mentioned, Festival of Miles, that was this past weekend. We were there in St. Louis, Missouri, seeing some of the greatest high school mile races ever, and also witnessing the great crowd, the great atmosphere, and even just the great city of St. Louis, Missouri. First off there, Sadie Englehart went out there and broke her mile national record, running a 4:28:46, but about how many minutes? About like 10 minutes before then, Allie Zealand out of Virginia went out there and ran 4:30:38 in the high school girls championship race. And her goal was 4:35. She broke Sadie Englehart's former record of 4:31 with that 4:30. That 10 minutes later, Sadie Englehart got it. Just a crazy night overall. Drew Griffith broke 4 minutes as well. But first with the ladies, bro, that was just insane, Aaron. That was insane.
You know, and man, I didn't get to tell Craig this, but shout out to, this was a Hoka event. My boy Craig Lutz is the one that managed this one and put it together. And what I really loved about this event was that last year we had 4 boys break 4. Historic on the boys' side. That was the talk of the town. And I love that the next following year, you know what the talk is? It's the girls. Mm-hmm. It's the girls. So shout out to Craig for getting that together. I know he was really pressing to try and do better with just women and girls in general. So he had voice in sport out there as well. So like, bro, I think he just nailed it. And now holistically on the girls. Timing. Yeah, because everyone, when you think about last year, everyone, and this is a constant thing in girls track and field, we talk about, you know, the controversy of the 4-minute mile of like, oh, like, it doesn't matter, you know, like people will say, oh, it doesn't matter. Why do we give all these dudes all this hype? But, you know, I think the talk of this meet was Allie Zealand running 4:30 and Samuel Englehart running 4:28. Maybe 4:30 is that barrier, or like, I don't think that they need a barrier to be celebrated, but it's like these were amazing performances. And I'm happy that they got their time to shine.
And I would say, like you said, there's not really a barrier. Well, it could just be this under 4:30, because if we get more girls going under 4:30, like, I feel like that is quite insane. Girls under 4:30, high school girls under 4:30 is an amazing feat. but simply just those races in total, because it went the high school girls championship and then it went the pro race. And I know looking back on it now, like, man, I wish Sadie Englehart and Ali Zealand were in the same race. And I wish we could have seen Ali really give Sadie a run for her money. But honestly, the way that it was set up with Ali Zealand first, crazy race, just after 600, 500 left, she just gapped the field, didn't look back, was basically sprinting the entire way. The crowd is going bananas the entire time. And then Sadie jumps on the track in the pro race. She goes out there, she's basically in last place for the first 3 laps. And then the last three, 250, she has an amazing kick and almost wins the pro race and gets second place, breaks the national record. And then a few minutes after that, Drew Griffith breaks 4 minutes. Like the crowd was going absolutely insane
Yeah.
for a straight 20-minute stretch, like nonstop, back after back after race after race after race after race. Like that was amazing energy just from that crowd. That atmosphere and like that stadium feel is it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. I'm glad we were able to go to Festival Miles this year, just like to really experience the meet. Like that was cool.
Yeah, and I think this year having the national record from the women's side, and we saw last year how hyped the boys was. Like this is the meet to come to run fast,
Yes.
to break records, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here because it's already so big. As a California kid, like it wouldn't be something I would ever St. Louis, Missouri, like I would never think of that, you
Yeah.
know. But this year we had Sadie Englehart out there. We had Tessa Buswell, the 800-meter girls champion out there. We had Andres Dibidal from Santa Barbara, Anthony Fasthorse. So it was a lot of California kids that just finished upstate that came through. So I'm excited to see how that continues to grow over time. And maybe that is the thing. How many girls can we get under? Dang, 430. That's pretty crazy to get multiple girls under 430. But even like 435, I wonder how many they had. Like to get under 435 is pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
Under 430. I feel like that could be a thing going forward. But I do have two questions to ask you from, and just even the audience to ponder over as we get. Well, I have one question because Sadie Englehart, she did run the 428.46, but even as like we're talking to her and as they're not announcing the national record, even before then, people are saying that like Sadie has a national record, and like I'm a Sadie fan. Believe me, I'm a Sadie fan. You feel me? Southern section through and through. Interviewed Sadie so many times. She the homie. But like, like Mary Kane has the national record though. Does she not? Like it's indoors. She ran 428.25 in the Milrose games in 2017, 2013, my bad. Like that is the overall ultimate national record. And then like Sadie has the record for she now has the second fastest, but it's not outdoor, but it's like the national record because people care more about outdoor than indoor, but you could also call it short track as well. So like it's just confusing. Like, does it feel like to you that Sadie Englehart has a national record, even though Mary Kane ran 428.25 and Sadie runs 428.46 outdoors? Like,
I would say for me, I'm older than these kids. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So to me, it feels like Mary Kane because Mary Kane is like I don't know how she is. She's just around my age though. She's not much younger than me. So I think that it's Mary Kane. I'm just like you said, I'm more confused than anything. But Sadie is entering rarefied air to be that close to the record as a junior, not even a senior. You know, it is practically hers. She still has to go get it, but she's right there. So it's been cool to just see her development over time, and I'm happy that up to this point, I like the way that she's doing it. I love that she's going to as many high school races. She's going to just high school races, but she's traveling to the top high school races, racing the top high
Yeah.
schoolers. Not just like running. She ran a pro meet here, but she just ran the state meet last week. She's gonna run at Bricks PR in New Balance Nationals. I love that. I love that she's giving high schoolers a chance to like compete against her, and she's not afraid to go up against. She doesn't walk around like I'm better than
No,
you know.
absolutely not. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not who she is. So it's been just cool that it's been cool to see the trajectory we knew since freshman year. So yeah.
I think the really cool thing too about her going to Brooks PR, and I think it'll be really telling. I believe she's running 800 there. Allie Ince is going to be in a race too. Allie Ince from where's Allie from? Allie's from Indiana or somewhere like that, somewhere in the Midwest.
Illinois. They think she's from
Illinois.
Illinois.
Illinois. Yeah, you're right. 203 girl. Sadie also runs 203. So it'll be interesting to see what they run there. Cause I think that will be, if she's able to run like a 201, a 202, that'll go really well from right behind you. Olympic marathon, Olympic trials, once she's able to get there and like get on that stage. If she's able to have like that 202, 201 speed, I don't know what could happen for Sadie Engelhart. It just if she can get to the final or something like that. All right, World Athletics Ultimate Championships. We gotta talk about this, Aaron. I woke up like at 3 a.m. this morning, and sometimes like I just gotta get up and like walk. I don't know. I always just wake up like at 3 a.m. like every single night. Sometimes it's like God's telling me I need to pray more. Sometimes I gotta pee. So like it's either one of those two things. But I woke up, I walked over to my phone, and the first thing I saw was the World Athletics Ultimate Championships. I thought this was a meme page that I seen on Instagram. I'm like, why am I looking at Karsten Warholm's face? Like, why is his face so close to mine right now? Why is Sharika like, what is going on? Like, this is like, is this a video game? And then I kind of like read the synopsis for it for the website. I wake up this morning here on Monday, and this is basically what the World Athletics Ultimate Championships is. Let me read this to you. It's a groundbreaking new global championship event set to transform the athletics calendar and define which athlete is the best of the best. It's going to be taking place over 3 sessions, each under 3 hours in duration. The Ultimate Championship will showcase the best athletics, including sprints, middle and long distances, relays, jumps, and throws, ensuring a spectacle that both existing and new fans will not want to miss. Athletes will represent their national teams to ensure that individual success is underpinned by national pride. We had the president, Seb Coe, come out and say that the Ultimate Championship will be a high on action and excitement for the fans, setting a new standard for track and field events featuring athletics' biggest stars. It will be a must-watch global sports event. It means track and field will host a major global championship in every single year, ensuring for the first time that athletics will enjoy a moment of maximum audience reach on an annual basis. I think this quote was interesting too. The CEO from the press release said that John Rigdon said, "We are looking at what new competition innovations can be introduced, all of which will be thoroughly and tested in advance." So I guess this is meaning like the steeplechase mile that they're talking about, or even just the long jump with no board and everything like that. So a lot of big things. They're talking about giving $10 million prize pot, $150,000 to the champions, the biggest ever for athletics event. This will only be a semifinal and a final with 8 to 16 competitors based off the world ranking system. Like, this is kind of crazy, Aaron. This is kind of crazy. What were your thoughts when you first saw the World Athletics Ultimate Championships, and did you think it was a video game at first?
First thing I thought was like, man, these dudes really be listening to all. They be on social media, bro. They be on social media. They be listening to all the podcasts because everybody wants a shorter world championship.
Please.
Everyone's been saying that. Like, can we make it 3 days, 4 days, 5 days? So that's the first thing I was like, yes, it's only 3 days. Sign me up. Under 3 hours. Boom. I love that. I those two things, boom. I love that. That means that's 10 days worth of content smashed into 3. So it's gonna be jam-packed with excitement. I think they're gonna have to figure out how to communicate how the world rankings work. Yeah. And they have some time to do that. But I think that's a great opportunity to get people integrated with the most confusing system, or find a way to make it more simplified. Because going into this year, since it's going to be world rankings that qualifies you, right? This is gonna help define the season, I would think, because everyone is gonna be like, oh, they're gonna go to these meets based on how much it affects their world ranking. So maybe that will make for more competition throughout the season. I would think that's what the idea is. But like, this is a W. World Athletics, Sebco, he been cooking, bro. He been cooking. He been trying everything. I shoot steeplechase mile. I might come out of retirement. Like that sounds dope. I love a steeplechase mile. I would love to see Jakob jumping over hurdles, bro. He used to be a steeplechaser. That's a whole nother conversation. I I wish the money was a little bit higher. Of course, I always want more money
Bro,
for the athletes.
This is the highest ever.
But who said that? Why can't I want more? Why can't I want more for my athletes?
I know. I'm just saying though. I'm just saying. It's the highest.
Yeah,
ever,
kudos to them. I'm happy that they keep raising the bar because I'm gonna keep on saying this. I feel like we on the post here at Two Black Runners. If you really been listening, everything we said has came to light in somehow, some shape or form. I don't even have to say believe that. Go listen back. But I think that I'm just curious to Michael Johnson. I'm curious to what Michael Johnson's doing with his league. I'm curious what Gabby Thomas has going with that women's meet because what I'm hearing this year is there's more opportunities for athletes to make more money. At least for if you're one of the best athletes in the world, there's more options for you to go to and make big prize purses. So I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, it definitely is interesting, and it seems that World Athletics is definitely focused on it seems that they're really focused on like paying people more. Like, let's not forget about they have a prize purse. They've allocated 2.4 million for the Olympics, and every gold medalist will get $50,000. So like they're doing that as well. They're trying to get our athletes paid, which is nice, and like things that they should have been doing for a long time. And it's glad this is really like coming to effect. And they're also trying to like spice things up. My only confusion of just like this happening is, I don't know. I feel like shouldn't this be like why have the world championships after this? Like I understand, I don't understand.
Yeah.
We have the world ultimate athletic championships, and it's kind of weird that now we have to have like a world championship. Like, where does being the world ultimate athletics champion really rank for like someone's legacy? I know we don't talk about that a lot in track and field, but as a podcast, that's something that we talk about. Like when we like doing Mount Rushmores and such. Like if Noah Lyles is this world athletics ultimate champion, does that give him an extra cachet over other people? And there's also the factor in that like these athletes, they're not gonna have any break anymore, which I think is good because we're gonna be seeing jam packed every single year. Like Chris Chavez, thanks to Chris, he always providing some stuff for the podcast, to be honest. But in his tweet, he was set an example that 2024 we're getting the Olympics in Paris. Next year we got world championships, it's the normal in Tokyo. Then we got the world ultimate championships in Budapest in 2026, and then we have the world championships, the normal in Beijing, and then we have the Olympics in LA in 2028. And Seb Cope said it was every 2 years. So I'm guessing in 2029 would be the World Ultimate Championships. So it is a break for some athletes because obviously they won't be in the world ranking. It's only 8 to 16. But I think it's kind of weird. Like, why don't we just turn this into the World Championships, in my opinion?
I would love to see this as the World Championships too. I think there's probably some logistical things that you'd have to take, and then like for everyone, would you be qualifying for World Championships purely off rankings, like going forward? And I think that's probably something they are probably considering, and they have considered. So maybe they just want to test it for now, but maybe like 2030, I'm gonna be old. Maybe at 20 and after 2029. Maybe they don't have those world championships set in the 30s yet. And maybe that's where we see a transition potentially based off how this goes. But to answer your other question about does it give you, I think does it give you like a one up on someone if you win this? I think it does. I think it does if that person doesn't choose to compete because that's another title. And like if we're moving to this new world where there's a championship every year, that means it's more difficult. Like if you win 4 straight championships in a row, no break, like that's more impressive. That's more impressive in the past that you were able to have that sort of dominance, you know? And it could come quicker. I guess you could say, "Oh, but like the Olympics is cool because if you win, 8 years later from there, like no, I want to see you win. Can you win every single year like the NBA, NFL? Like you were 4, you went back to back to back to back to back to back Olympics back. That'd be crazy if someone was able to do that.
But then you could say like the world championships, you got to run 4 rounds. I believe you have to run 4 rounds for the 100, right? 4 quarters, prelims, semifinals, and here you're only running 2. You know, so there is a different format of doing that. But I think also because they didn't really specify the world rankings, and I'm assuming it's just straight up because assuming like let me go to here. I'm going to the world rankings that are up right now. And if you go to world rankings for the 400, 8 to 16, they take 16 of these women. We have 4 Americans, are like or 4 Americans. Britton Wilson 17. Like imagine Britton Wilson ends up being 16 at the end of the year, or whatever, 4 to 400. Are we going to be able to take 5 Americans in this? You know what I mean? Instead of just the usual 3 or 4 at times, you have an extra world champion. Like that's the type of stuff that I personally want. I think that would make it interesting for me and would make it even harder because thinking back to even I don't really pay attention to the world rankings, like honestly, but think about back when like we have America has super competitive 100 runners or 400 runners, or Jamaica has super like 5 Jamaicans can really make the 100-meter final for a woman, but only 3 can show up. If we can get all 5 of these women in that final, plus these these beasts, plus we get like Sha'Carri Richardson in there and Dina Asher Smith and Rashida Adeleke and Julian Alfred against these 5 Jamaicans, the best in the world. Like I feel like that is very impressive. Instead of like
Yeah.
kind of diluting it, of like some of these women they have to pick other events because like they just can't fit that into their schedule because all the rounds that you have to run. Like this, possibly, I've got a rambling now, but possibly this opens up where Sydney can go to a World Ultimate Athletics Championship and like run the 400-meter hurdles and 400-meter because since it's just a semifinal and a final instead of doing
Yeah.
3 rounds of both.
But that's what makes it the ultimate championship. It's not, hey, bring your best 3. These are the best people in the world based off these rankings. And if you want to get into these, you got to go to the proper meets and win. You got to it's incentivizing you to go to Diamond Leagues. It's incentivizing you to go to the Continental Tour. Those meets now, it's like those meets might matter a little bit more because you get more rankings. Now there's going to be people upset. There's going to be kids in the NCAA running 350 in the mile and stuff. And you're going to be like, how is this person make it? But like, homeboy from NC State did it and he ran 348. And, so there'll be problems there. But I think that's what you just described is what makes it the ultimate championship. And I think it can influence the season. So I want to see what that's going to do.
Yeah, I'm looking at this right now on the women's 400-meter hurdles. It hasn't updated, but I'm wondering where Sydney McLaughlin will be because she's not on the list right now. But after just one race to the 400-meter hurdle with the world lead, does that give her enough to put her into the top 16? And now Sydney's going to run like another 400-meter hurdle race, but it'll be interesting because I think that's a perfect segue into what we're going in next because there's a big conversation of just athletes. When are they going to race or when are they not race? Why aren't athletes going over to Europe? And I thought this was just an interesting conversation to have because at the Edwin Moses Legends Classic, I believe, at Morehouse in Orlando, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, she went out there. She ran 52.70 for a world lead in the 400-meter hurdles, dominating the field. Absolutely flawless race by Sydney. She said she didn't have a lot of hurdle work before this as well. She's telling the truth or not, we don't know, but I'm pretty sure she is. But crazy that she's running 52.70. I believe her. I think they said her first race about first 400-meter hurdle race since 2022 or something like that. Bobby Kersee, I believe before or after the meet, he was talking to Sidious Mag, Anderson, Emerald, and was saying that I like America. I like the race at home as much as possible. I get criticized for not going to Europe, but I coach United States athletes to put them on teams. Bobby Kersee in Instagram comments, this man was getting roasted. People do not like Bobby Kersee for how he is training athletes like Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone and a thing Mo. I have my dude over here on Instagram, Jeff's View. He said, this guy acts like it's an impossible journey to get over to Europe where Jacob's out here running 3:45 in Eugene on Saturday, then going back to Oslo for a 3:29 1,500-meter performance 5 days later. Major championships are important, but racing the biggest meets of the year is important too. Imagine if the biggest stars in other sports only showed up for the major championship, a la Kawhi Leonard. He didn't say that, but that would have been funny. And then we had my man over here, not Cam, said, oh, he likes the race at home until it's literally one of the biggest meets of the year. Would love to see Keely and Femke get their titles this year. Now that's straight up just hate right there.
That's hate for real.
And then we had Mr. Stone Run said there's got to be a reasonable balance between making teams and actually building a public persona to get eyes on the sport. How can we get as excited about a gold medal when we don't know the athletes? What do you think about this whole situation? The criticism coming out from Bobby Kersee saying he likes the athletes right at home. Sydney McLaughlin, I believe, said about like 7 times this weekend as she get interviewed, as people asked her about like, why aren't you racing Diamond Leagues? She was saying, I like racing at home. She was saying how I was just injured and it's easier to be at home. So like, does Sydney need to go overseas? Do you want her to be racing these Diamond Leagues against Femke? Or are you cool with this world lead 52.7 at the Morehouse University?
Man, like homie that said there has to be a reasonable balance between making teams and actually building a public persona. You think that Bobby Kersee care about you? You think Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone and the thing Moo care about you? Did she get any extra money from you? No, you know where she earns her money? She earns her money when she wins gold medals. So whatever they have to do to make sure they are prepared to win gold medals, that is what they're going to do. I understand the frustration. Do I want to see these matchups? Yes. But can we all just be honest here? There is no regular season in track and field. It doesn't matter. You just got to make the team. You got to win at the Olympics. There's one game. There's only one game that counts. It's the Olympics. That's where everything for your brand is tied into. Like, if Sha'Carri didn't race this whole season, like y'all didn't see her race, y'all going to be most excited when she pop up at the Olympics. The hype is going to be crazy. But they don't care about the hype. They not here for that. They here to get the job done. So the ultimate championship, that's why that's exciting to me. It makes the regular season count more. You got to get the rankings. Maybe they'll just opt out of it because they don't want the smoke. Maybe they will. But for that championship, you're going to have to race. You're going to have to do these meets. I mean, I guess your world rankings I don't know how world rankings work, but you probably are going to have to race, to just make sure you have your time and your proper points and stuff, right?
Top 16.
They can manipulate it to where you have to race. But right now, how track and field is built out, you don't have to race. And I just can't put that on the athlete. Like, that's on World Athletics and USATF or whatever to, like, in the NBA, bro, like, everyone was low managing because you can. Now they put these limits on it. But don't even compare girls. Like, don't compare these girls, Sydney and the thing, to Kawhi. Like, come on, man. Like, he got his ring. He got 2 rings. He nice. But in the past couple of years, like don't compare them. Don't compare them. No, they show up and they show up in the playoffs. Like they show up.
That's where
Like
I want to go to because maybe I see maybe there is this hate, maybe there is this hate, maybe there is this disdain, maybe there is this frustration when it even comes to Sha'Carri Richardson as well. But I don't really see it. I feel like Sha'Carri doesn't get this kind of sentiment. But when I go to like to see, and I'm not calling out Sha'Carri or anything like that, because like you said, I think they show up when it's championship time, and I think everybody gets ready different ways. Sha'Carri Richardson has raced at one, two, three, four. Has raced at four different meets. One of them was a 4x1, two of them were 200s, and the other one was Prefontaine Classic. Nobody's really complaining about Sha'Carri not racing or not showing up. Now, given three of these races were Diamond League meets, they're on NBC, Peacock, Sydney McLaughlin, she's raced at one, two, three, four meets too, the same as Sha'Carri
really,
Richardson, the exact same as Sha'Carri Richardson. Now, granted, I'm a granted, one of these meets was not live streamed. She raced at Oxy here in LA, Jack Kemp Stadium. That wasn't on live stream. You have to be there in person, but the video was posted on Twitter. Y'all got to see that on X. You feel me? But she raced Edwin Moses. That was on American Track League. Was that on NBC too? But it was on American. It was on American Track League. It was on like Flow Track. It was on free on Sidious Mag. It was free everywhere. She raced at Mount Sac in a 4x1. It was free on Runner Space. And then she raced at LA Grand Prix. You able to watch that on NBC or Peacock. It's not like Sadie McLaughlin's been racing. Like she's been racing in big. She raced the LA Grand Prix against some big athletes. Like, why are we like?
yeah. And look at this. Look at this, Joshua. You just named. He is trying to build up the American circuit. He's taking our best athlete, one of our best athletes in the whole entire country, to the Edwin Moses Classic at Morehouse. Come on, man. Like at Morehouse, at a historic black historic college, bro. Like that's fire. And he's honoring Edwin Moses, the greatest hurler legend. And then he has the meet at the LA Grand Prix. That's huge to build that up in LA. Then he has a meet at Mount Sac. He takes them there every year. Where's the Olympics gonna be in 2024? So he's building it up here at home, and people just not even looking at that. They're not even at Oxy. That's in LA. He bringing in the hype. He bringing in the hype to LA. I can't hate on that.
You can't. He know what he doing, but people don't see it. And I think people, obviously, if someone were to rebuttal to this, they're like, what about a thing? A thing is not racing. Well, a thing, from what we hear, a thing she injured. She got something messed up with her. You want her to go messed up? You want her to run with a messed up hamstring? When like what Aaron said, this don't really matter right now.
It doesn't matter.
It don't, like, she needs to be healthy when she races against Keeley. But before she even races against Keeley, she got to race against Nia Akins. She got to race against Sage Herta-Klecker. She got to race Raven Rogers. She got to race
Michaela Rose, Julia Whitaker.
Like, these women ain't playing around. Like, a thing, she can't come in here hobbling, and get her scalp taken and in game the season and let somebody get confidence on her from America, or anyone get confidence on her. Like, she's Queen Bee. Why would you do that? So, like, there's games being played on both sides. So there also are games being played in the NCAA right now, as this athlete is set to compete at the NCAA championships this coming weekend. Parker Valby out of Florida. She's running the 5K and the 10K. Probably going to be a dominant performance from her. I'm just excited to see her post-race interviews at this point. But if anybody can take her down, that would be amazing to see. But the battle, the competition, everything, that's off the track. Runner's World reported that there's a huge bidding war for Parker Valby to what deal is going to get her. Sarah Lorge Butler says Nike, New Balance, and Puma may be giving Valby a base annual payment of $650,000 to $800,000 per year. Right now, Parker Valby is the indoor 5,000 meter record holder in the NCAA and the outdoor 10,000 meter record holder in the NCAA. Aaron, where do you think Parker Valby is going to sign And just like we don't hear about distance or sprinters, we don't hear about contracts that much. Last contract we really heard about was Noah Lyles saying that he got the highest thing ever, and now Parker Valby, probably the hottest free agent coming out of college, right next to probably Nico Young. But I believe we've been on set on here before. Parker Valby, she's gonna make big money just because look at Parker Valby, bro. Look how she acts. Look at everything she does. She's entertaining. She's a beast. 11th all time, I believe, in the 10,000 meter when she ran that at Zusa Pacific. What do you think about this contract? What do you think about this news? And where do you think she signs?
I'm just like, how did they find out? You know, nobody ever be knowing. So I wonder if this is true.
What's
Secondly, go get your money, Valby. Hey, I see you, fam. That's good. Good for you, girl. You doing good. You doing good. But I'm sure like Nike is the highest bidder. But who knows? I'm wondering who she's gonna be coached under. If she's gonna stay in Florida, you know, is she gonna join a group? Is she gonna join Boss? Is she gonna join Mike Smith? Or shoot, Kim Bowerman. Bowerman needs some help over there right now. So can she go over there? I don't know. I really have no idea where she's gonna end up.
Sova?
What
That's the
is
group.
that?
That's their group name, right? That's what they're calling themselves. Cooper Tier and Cole Walker go train with Ben Thomas up there.
Sova?
Yeah, I think it's
SOVA?
yeah, cause Virginia, right? Something like that.
Oh,
Some I don't know. I don't know. I got it at some point, but now I can't remember. But it would be interesting. I think Parker Bobby's gonna make a lot of money. I think she's gonna be a personality for like years to come. Just hearing her story of like the cross training and how she's able like when she's on the screen and like how she like interacts with the camera and just like fans and everything, I think is one of a kind. So I think she's gonna be a really big athlete, an athlete that we're gonna be watching this weekend too at the NCAA's. Honestly, Aaron, I have not been paying attention to NCAA's like that much, but I will be watching this weekend because like this is one of the biggest meets of the year. And I'm curious to see like with this 5K, 10K win that Parker gets, like, does this cement her to get her Bowerman? Will Nico Young winning the 5,000 cement him to get his Bowerman Award? Like, are we gonna see distance runners get a Bowerman Award in the first time in forever? So I was just curious, what storylines interest you for the Bowerman for NCAA's? My bad.
man, I haven't been on NCAA's too much either, to be honest. I mean, Nico has been, it is going to be just crazy to see NCAA's, to see where some of these athletes, you're just going to be thinking about the Olympic trials, right? Like, can Colin Saul, like you said, Colin Solomon is running 3:33 right now?
Yeah,
3:33?
333. Yeah.
Can how is he gonna shape up? You know, can it's again like NAU is looking crazy with Solomon and Nico. It's like how many points can they as a team, you know, score to really be in it? I don't know. They don't got no sprinters, but I guess I'm more still just honed in on distance and seeing how Nico looks and where he's at because it's gonna be very a lot of implications going into the Olympic trials. Um, yeah, but honestly, I have not been following the NCAA's like that.
No, yeah, that's fair. Me too. Me too. Other thing I'm interested in, and I think everyone should look out for, is the women of Arkansas. That's probably the team to win. I think it's Arkansas. LSU, I believe, has a good team as well as always. And I can't remember. There's another team too, but Arkansas is looking really good, and they have a quartet of women that broke the 4x4 record at regionals, and potentially could go 1, 2, 3, 4 at nationals, or they could go 1, 2, like 4, 5, or something like that, or whatever. Like I think that's gonna be one of the biggest stories to watch when the women do race, which I'm not sure which day it is, but it's gonna be super exciting to see what really goes down at NCAA's.
Also, like, what are we gonna see from Christopher Morales Williams out of Georgia? Dude broke
Yeah,
that indoor record. I'm seeing here he ran 44:05 at SECs. Another person that may end up on a team if everything goes well. Um, then you got always the women's 800 with Juliette Whitaker, Roisin Willis, Michaela Rose. Like that has big implications, in my opinion, to see where people are at before they go into the Olympic trials as well.
It'll be interesting. You brought up Christopher Morales Jr. Christopher Morales Williams, that's the name.
Yeah.
Michael Norman, 43.61. Is that something that he's eyeing to get? He broke that at NCAA's in 2018. So if Christopher Morales Williams could get something like that, that would be incredible, bro. The run and definitely going into the Olympic year and put him really as the biggest, because Michael Norman looks like the favorite right now.
Yeah.
You got my dude from Great Britain, Matthew Hudson as well. He ran that 44. He ran like low 44s for a European record. But if he was able to run 43, like he enters the conversation of being the guy to beat going into the Olympics. So that's definitely someone to watch as well.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be NCAA is always a great meet too. A great example of just when you have teams well structured together competing against each other, how much more fun it can be, especially because it's a 4-day meet. So
Yeah.
2 days for the women, 2 days. Another thing back to Ultimate Championship. Hopefully they key off a little bit from NCAA is just one of the best meets of the year all the time.
Yeah, have to be, but sounds good. Sounds good. Exciting time for track and field going in. We're about only 3 weeks away from the U.S. Olympic marathon. Why do I keep on saying marathons? Because that thing is behind you. The U.S. Olympic track and field trials is going to be super. Uh, it's going to be hype. It's going to be hype. Can't wait for that to happen. Oh, also, this weekend too, we have New York Grand Prix as well. I forgot about that. I don't believe the injuries aren't out. The start lists aren't out for that yet. But New York Grand Prix is going out this Saturday, and so that'll be cool to just see the final tune-ups and Portland Track Festival as well as we get these final tune-ups before the trials. So yeah, you got anything else, Aaron, before we get out of here?
Next thing will be Joshua's gonna be at Nike Outdoor Nationals.
Yeah, we got Nike Outdoor Nationals.
That's next week.
Shoot, is it?
2 weeks from now.
Yeah, it's next week. Next weekend.
How are you feeling? You got Trey going out there to race. How are you feeling? That's still your athlete, right? You and Dad.
I don't that's all Dad. I don't train him. I'm there I'll be there for moral support at times. That ain't my athlete. Absolutely. But yeah. Trey's gonna be racing there, which is cool because he was there last year. So excited to see what he's gonna do up there. But just excited to be at Nike Outdoors. I'm sure there's gonna be some great racing. Excited to like meet up with the NSAF crew again and just chop it up with everybody and see like the continued storylines of these like great high school athletes from indoor season. And it's been a blessing to be able to be like at the Armory and see like a lot of them there. Like even some of the guys and girls that I've seen compete just at regular Armory meets, like not even the national ones. I seen them at Festival of Miles, like Ethan Walther. Shout out to him, bro. He ran 149, won Festival of Miles before the meet. I was like, Aaron, like this dude gonna win. This dude nice because he got a spot to make it into the Millrose Games Mile. I think like the first meet I was at, he got a spot into that. He's from Delaware, so it's really cool just to see how these kids just keep getting faster and faster throughout the year. We were out there for 4 days at Nike Outdoor Nationals. It's gonna be hype. It's gonna be hype. Handing out the chains, doing the interviews. Got to think of fun ways that we can interact with these kids. And yeah, it's cool. I think I'm gonna do the rock paper scissors thing that you said.
Yeah, dude. The kids love that, bro. Talk trash to them too. You got to be winning though. You gotta be winning.
Yeah, I can't lose. That's like I'm gonna play like 30 games, bro, if I do that. But that'll be a fun video.
Yeah, no, I did that at Arcadia. I was eating, bro. That's what most games are. I was getting into kids' heads, bro. You get into their heads easy. But yeah, other than that, make sure y'all catch us at the Olympic trials. We'll be there more so on the second half. 6:26, mark your calendars, trials and trivia. Me and Josh are gonna be hosting that. We're gonna keep on pumping that up. But if you're gonna be in the area for the Olympic trials, remember that Trials and Trivia. We'll have more info coming on that shortly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, see y'all next week on the Two Black Runners podcast. Appreciate y'all for listening in. You've been listening definitely to this far in. Make sure to give us a like on YouTube. Give us a review on Apple Podcasts. If you haven't, 5 stars, because you listen this far in. So you must like it. Get 5 stars, leave a review, all that. Share with a friend, someone that loves track and field and just loves running in general. Put them more on the sport. Let's get prepared for the Olympics, bro. Only about 2 months away. August coming in fast. The summer's gonna go through fast. It's an exciting time to be a track and field fan and to be listening to Two Black Runners. See you next week. Let's get it.